plight of Afghanistan can be summed up in a few words. British left us with communal violence, Russians filled our coffers with hatred and rebellion, and Americans added to this by encouraging zealots and cutthroats to rule over us. Rebels and exiles like you, Osama, loaded with the ammunition of zeal and bigotry. And now America has carved out another home for the zealots, Iraq.
Osama knotting his hands behind his back into fists.
Who are you calling a bigot, Mullah?
Niaz is standing still and without looking at him.
You and your Taliban, and all the hoodlums known as Al-Qaeda, and you the biggest of them all.
Samira carrying a bundle of twigs.
Now, my dear Mullah and my dear husband, curb your moods and tempers. I am in no mood to solve your wounds from the cannonballs of your fists. Besides, my paste from the pale roots of belladonna and its fruit is all finished in curing the colics, fevers, and rheumatics of the few loyal Afghans who still keep me well supplied with herbal treasures.
Thrust out a few twigs into the hands of Niazi, holding the rest to Osama.
Be careful with these oak twigs. They are my medical tools for gathering herbs. Go, find me the resin asafoetida. I would dry and pound it into powder. 1 pinch of it, and all the ailments of the stomach are cured. And I do believe you are sicker in the stomachs than in your heads.
Osama knocking the twigs down from Samira's hand.
I might be senile, but I'm not stupid, my lily of Kabul. Asafoetida comes from the fennel grown in Persia. If I don't die here in this cave, I would take you to Persia with all your jars of earth science to poison the heretics.
Amani exclaiming suddenly and cupping her head into her hands.
My head is spinning like a globe, and no hubs in sight from the windswept fields of Bengal to the jungles of Sahara.
All watch her speechless. Samira flies to her table of herbs.
Let me fetch my tincture of yellow clove from the east. I ground it with great care in my marble basin for great efficiency. It cures many ailments, especially the terrible pounding headaches.
Samira rubs the oil liquid around Amani's temple, throwing to herself. Amani deliriously pushing her hookah away.
Gandhiji, I have heard that prophet of non-violence could have had a better chance of staying healthy while fasting unto death if he had but put his mind into studying the herbs than spinning the wheel.
Osama patching and thinking loud.
She has gone daft. Pound some sense into her head, Niazi, with wisdom from the Holy Quran. Samira's herbal quakery is not going to cure her of her hallucinations.
Niazi shakes his head mutely, while Samira begins to rub Amani's back.
I'm not daft, you pious fool, calling others heretics, and you yourself no Muslim. Do you even know that Islam means reconciliation, not violence and destruction? Could you ever absolve yourself of that loathsome evil you unleashed on 9/11?
Not daft, but whipped by the waters of perdition. Almost 5 years since the Twin Towers fell into their own rubble of pride, and you still ascribe evil to the purity of jihad?
Jihad. Every maggot in the world knows jihad is the inner strength to fight evil from within, not to spread evil on the face of this earth. Walk gently on earth, our prophet said.
Amani swaying to her feet abruptly.
Yes, almost 5 years, and our prophet still turning in his grave in grief. The apostle of peace and the protector of the orphans and the widows. So much innocent blood. And didn't you spill your guts out with laughter on that day of tragedy, gloating over the brutal ignorance of your own young louts, the fanatics, whom you nurtured with the poison of hatred and vengeance?
I was laughing, yes, at the arrogance of the superpower being sucked into the furnace of devastation, laughing at the warlords of the world, prowling everywhere to be the policemen of this earth to satisfy their pride and greed. Those impossious beauticians remember what happened 2 years prior to that hateful day of tragedy, as you call it. Grand missiles of America pounding the streets of Afghanistan. That's what happened. You were there when an old man stood weeping and lamenting the loss of his family and home, all consumed by the hellfire of bombs from the sky. What have I done to America? You saw his wrinkled face and white beard soaked in tears, didn't you?
Amani cradling her head into her hands and tottering towards the black hole of sleeping quarters.
Oh yes, whatever, whoever, bombarding the earth and the rocks, killing little ants, us Afghanis. And Rascal Osama still living, still breathing the dust of hatred and vengeance. I must sleep. But believe you me, Samira's herbs are powerful. Someday they would cure the hot fleshes of enmity, violence, male violence.
Exit Amani. Samira gets to her feet, wringing her hands.
My herbs, more precious than gold, are priceless, not to be sold in this bazaar of ignorance, where insanity fetches millions and wisdom buried alive under the clods of dirt.
Oh yes, we can sell your concoctions in vials of gold at exorbitant prices. People love to buy what they can't afford, and once bought, they would become the relics of sanctity, exuding the scent of bliss. No one would like to part with them, especially the guardians of such sanctified lies, even willing to ransom their life if the aura of sanctity could be kept and maintained.
Nietzi waving his arm frantically.
Now that Amani has gone to bed, I sure would go to bed hungry tonight. Samira can't cook. My cooking is not fit for dogs, and you, Osama, turned weaver, would be content on chewing the wool of the sheep.
Samira turning toward her table.
Lucky for us, I still have the paste made from the fruit of the almond. It kept many Talibans alive in hiding when there was no food and water to be found.
Osama wrinkling his nose.
Oh no, not that outrageous tasting paste again. It sat in my stomach for days, and you had to feed me that purgative that you concocted from Brioni wine. It almost killed me. I would rather chew on a bullet than taste that paste.
Samira licking the paste out of a jar.
Your choice, Osama. We could be brewing sweet concoctions on the warm hearth, then becoming the slaves of mad scientists, fashioning weapons of mass destruction. I'm going to bed too.
Let me have some of that paste, Samira, before you go. For some strange reason, I hear the thunder of warplanes. The high-tech glitz in Iraq, though long past gone, is pounding my memories to the horror of a recollection. Wasn't that the American showdown to show the world that what power was? That power has the right to massacre. What can an ant do against the bullying of an elephant? To crawl deeper into the blood-soaked earth till bomb sirens ring no more of the thunderous fury from the skies? And then the lowly ants could venture out, an army of ants crawling straight to the gates of arrogance, and bloated with the blood of vengeance, bigger and mightier than before. Would they not strike back?
Osama, his eyes flashing.
I got it. The sanity of my insane reasoning. Massacre for massacre. Twin Towers. Why did we do it? It was the price paid in full for desecrating our Jerusalem in Afghanistan. Rivers of Afghan blood split here years ago was poured into the Twin Towers, spilling afresh on the streets of New York. The same blood, oh wretched mullah. The same, I tell you. What color is American blood? Can you tell me? Afghani, I know. Turned molten gold against the showers of invasions. Can't you see it in their eyes of young men? Red-rimmed, reflecting the fire of British pride, of Russian belligerency, of American arrogance. Now that I have drained my cup of poison, would you, dear Samira, help me brew the hemlock of sanity?
Samira